It's a mouthful, Titus loves
Wait, what?
How you know? How you know?
Have you also seen Titus Low's Not me, John. This is your daily catch-up.
Boom.
Hey guys, you're enjoying the Daily Ketchup podcast and you're not yet subscribed. Subscribe, come on. Come
Thank
join
you.
us.
Please and thank
Join
you.
the
Hit the
club.
notification button
Thank
as well.
you.
Join the Ketchup Club.
So, if you have... Wow, this has been a long time. It's been a long time. So, OnlyFans creator, probably arguably Singapore's biggest OnlyFans creator, has been charged.
You think so?
I mean, according to Vice lah.
Biggest male or biggest?
I feel like it's
According
the
to
biggest
Vice
according to
Singapore,
the streets.
biggest
Or
OnlyFans star.
biggest?
Yeah, you're talking about biggest way.
He's facing jail time because he's under investigation by the Singapore Police Force for distributing obscene materials via OnlyFans.
Oh, that was weird, man.
Yeah.
But so most people are asking the question like, why are all the other female creators especially not being charged for this, right? Because there are so many of them
Yeah.
that much people know about. What do y'all think?
I don't understand. I thought that it was
Yeah.
it's okay. Because everybody's been doing it for so long. Everybody talking about it. People are fucking celebrating it, right?
Yeah.
Like, wow, this girl taking ownership of her own life or go and use her body, but then in a good way.
Wait, is that how women
taking
gotta take ownership
over
of
her
their
body.
life?
Yeah, and then make money, right? They're all moving to their own apartments and that kind of thing. Then I thought like, okay, solid lah. Then you hear about the like him being like the first male OnlyFans creator, kind of lah, right?
Yeah.
The
Then
one
why didn't we
that
invite
made
him,
it
I also don't know.
Titus, though, the invitation still stands.
But I think what was quite interesting was that even though, like, okay, before all of this, right, he was actually commanding an audience of about like 3,000 subscribers.
Damn.
Yeah.
What are his rates, though?
So I'm quite curious also because
I can find out now.
Obviously didn't check. I think his account has been suspended.
No, it's not. Because I saw his recent video, right? It says that you can still, on YouTube, he gives like updates on his case.
Right.
Yeah. Yo, guys,
It's cool.
if I sub out of curiosity, I will just say on it. Like, I'd be like,
Cool.
you have
Curiosity is
okay.
what we're gonna call it.
Science.
Titus Low, OnlyFans.
Well, your ads are going to be
Right.
weird after this.
No, I went incognito.
Nice.
Hey, user is inactive. You're absolutely right.
Okay, so I don't know what the rates usually are for OnlyFans. Never clicked.
Yeah.
I know. I have a few.
Okay, so is it like $10
They range from like $5 to like $50.
Okay. Because I'm trying to do like quick math here, right? So if average $10 per subscriber, he has
Yeah.
3,000 subscribers. He earns about 30k a month at least. I would say
Yep.
that's crazy money.
Yeah, and I
I mean,
don't
you
think
see
it's
his car
$10.
damn nice, yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
All the Singapore OnlyFans creator that I know of are like 0.1% OnlyFans. And I would think,
Top 0.1%.
yeah,
Worldwide.
well, as you can imagine, if you have 1,000 followers on Instagram, you might be top 10% already because of the sheer amount of accounts.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I do believe Singapore performers would command a
Performance.
Yeah,
Nice.
will command a premium.
Why?
Because
Because we're so conservative.
it's like that whole illusion of like this like country where the rules are strict and the pornography is banned and to see Asian is no longer good enough. You want to see your neighbor.
I don't know whether I can relate
Wait, what?
to
Are
that.
you in my brain? How do
Hey, thanks. I appreciate that. That was a weird thing for me to say. I didn't expect to get support from that.
Okay, sorry. Before we move forward, right? Can we maybe like share with people who don't know,
Yeah.
like, what is happening
Story.
with him? Like what's the case?
Or what is OnlyFans? Or are we assuming everyone knows OnlyFans?
I
don't know OnlyFans.
Yeah, that's right.
We can't watch Daily Ketchup.
Annoying, yeah.
No Daily Ketchup, I don't only fans presumptions.
So Titus Low, for those who don't know, 22-year-old man, still young chap, right? He was charged for two things. The first is for transmitting obscene materials by electronic means, and the second, right, was that after he was handed a charge, he allegedly failed to comply with police order to not access his OnlyFans account. So you guys don't know. Basically, he was already told not to access it, and then he went to OnlyFans and said, "Hey, I want to change my password. I think it's been compromised." He managed to get back access, and then he still distributed content even though he was told not to annoyh by the authorities.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the
But
second
because
half,
it was
like,
his
deserve
income
it lah.
Oh.
So let me, because I watched the YouTube video, right? Do you all watch the YouTube video?
Nope.
Basically, it was just him on his camera on his own channel. He was not interviewed, right? And it was fully scripted. He has this bloody paper he's trying to read off, right? To be honest, right, when he told the story, I feel like I would totally
Understand.
I might do the whole thing like that also. I mean, if I got started on OnlyFans, because basically someone made a report, he got charged, right? I mean, personally, I don't expect to go to jail for this. Right? I would expect that maybe you give me a fine lah, but then if I'm loaded with cash, fine me lor. Right? And so, I mean, that's not what he said lah. But basically, what happened was that the police just knocked on his door. His helper opened the door, and then they seized all his equipment, his laptop, his mobile phone, and all that stuff.
Yep.
And then it was just going investigation, and it happened like for like a month or two, like no updates. He don't know what happened, and the case haven't concluded. You don't expect to wait that long when the police come into your house already.
Yep.
And so he just opened up his OnlyFans to update lah, cause that was his main source of income. And then police came again lor.
Oh.
Yeah, no. Then when he finally got his date to go and see his IO, right? He thought he was gonna go there to conclude things. Yeah. So when he go there, they told him, "Oi, why did you continue?" He took his shit again.
And they arrested him on the spot, right?
I think so. Yeah. Then he was in lockup for a while.
Yeah.
This was his version of events.
This is his version of events.
The SPF have not confirmed.
No, this is my memory of his version of events.
So it's even worse.
Completely not
Far
reliable. No lah. I'm pretty sure.
But I did read an article that was about that, right? So I think a big part of why he talked about going back to the accounts because it's his main source of income, which then leads me to the question: if he's earning so much money per month, like we've discussed, right? Why is it not okay to be without a job for a month?
Because when you are young, you leverage. I feel like when I'm young and I got 3K salary, that means I got 3K to spend.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
In
think
fact, 3.5K because I got $500 student credit card.
Yeah, and you mentioned just now like he got nice cars kind of thing, right? And he moved into his own place and that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
like,
he said what? He got helper, is it?
Yeah, but it's not hard to believe like
Could
the
be
car
part-time
was probably bought in the assumption that he's going to be earning that same amount for the next 5
installment.
years. lah.
Okay.
He did mention it. He mentioned that he did make a few purchases and now he looked back a bit like maybe I should have spent that kind. Yeah.
Yeah, he did say he regret.
It's a bit short-sighted lah in that sense.
How narcissistic do you think you have to be do what he is doing?
I don't think it's narcissism, eh?
Actually, he did say in an article that I think a big reason why he started it is because he didn't want to take any money from his family, like his parents. So he broke off from them a few years back.
Yeah.
And then there was this quote, I think, that he said, "I'd rather be broke, right, than take a single cent from them."
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think that might have contributed to this. And then why it's also sad is because like he feels the need to do it in order to sustain his lifestyle or whatever, right?
Yeah. Okay, totally understand that reason. Okay,
Yeah.
but again, right, there's so many other jobs out there, right? So choosing to do
But
this,
a job that gives you 30K a month minimum at 22 years old.
you wouldn't have known that, I think, prior to starting.
I think to reply your point, right, is because he wouldn't have known that.
Right.
Yeah.
Perhaps it could be he just wanted to do it and then get 20 subscribers, make $500 a month while he find a job. But he blew up. Then he just kind of ran with it lor.
Wow, I don't know, because like
if let's say you send me one note every day, then I give you $1,000. You won't do it to find a job, man.
no, but I think you need to be of a certain level of confidence with your body that like what, people want to see this,
Yeah.
But he's a good looking guy, I wouldn't.
No, yeah.
Yeah lah, but then
well
like
done.
it's still narcissistic to some extent. I feel
I think it takes a
Confidence
certain
lah.
level of narcissism to be able
Yeah.
to do that lah.
people want to watch me masturbate. Like that's not something I think to myself.
Someone's just going to clip that.
No, but
a good thought, a good
to
thought.
begin with, you take topless shots.
Yeah.
And then one day you're desperate because Chinese New Year coming, right? Or whatever shit you want to travel, right? You do one damn low V one, Then people's like, show your dick.
Or it could
You're
have
like,
been
okay.
it could have been a personal request and then someone paid a lot of money for it. Then he realized,
Yeah.
oh shit, actually a lot of people like
So
this.
let me give you the understanding of OnlyFans. So you
Wow,
pay
pros, yeah.
you pay a subscription, or it could be free. They could be free also, and then they could have posts that you pay to unlock. Then they also have posts where they would DM you. I mean, they mass DM. Then you pay to unlock again.
so it's a tiered system.
Yeah, so there are many tiers.
Okay.
Yeah, so it could be begin with topless shots law. That he's trying to make $500 to find a job.
Right.
Yeah.
There was something that a content creator said lah. So again, going back to the Vice article, was like, why was he kind of that target? Because again, like, why was he the only one that got reported, right? And I think a lot of them, this particular creator said that I think it's not difficult to see why he was very vocal about his earnings. He was flaunting his like luxurious lifestyle. He was kind of showing off that he was wealthy from OnlyFans.
So people jealous.
Probably. I mean, again, it's speculation. But it's not hard to see because like I would imagine a lot of the other content creators, they will probably be a little bit more like reserved about everything else in terms of like being on Instagram and Twitter. They'll just leave it to their OnlyFans. But I think he was a bit more.
But I guess it worked
open
for him
about
though. like it creates that whole aura and mystic. Like, oh, so many people are paying for your nudes, such that you are renting a big house and buying like big cars, right?
I think that's why he's dubbed as the biggest creator also, because he's like done all these videos
Longest,
and then like collabs with like other channels also. So he's the most like commonly known in a sense.
Oh shit, you can collab on OnlyFans? That's
No,
quite
as in
clever.
he has gone on interviews on YouTube ma.
But I'm sure you can collab.
Oh, so smooth.
But it's almost as though
Want to collab.
he kind of legitimized
That's
the whole. It looks as though he almost like legitimized the whole thing, because
Yeah.
it's like he actually made it a job
Yeah.
as opposed to a side hobby lah.
Yeah.
No, but I think like a lot of the debate that I've been seeing on social media was, and maybe a lot of people jumped the gun because they didn't fully read like the laws and things like that, was that why is the police clamping down on something when it seems like a mutually consensual like transaction, right?
Yeah.
Two consenting adults agreeing to a trade lah. And so we have the law on my computer. So it turns out, oh, by the way, right, side note, right, did you know that it's actually not illegal to stream and watch porn?
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was illegal.
I always thought it was illegal.
Yeah.
I just ignored it lah, to be honest.
So now I can freely say that whenever I was watching porn, right, I was always like, oh no, it's
As long
like,
as you don't download like a pervert lah.
yeah,
right?
yeah. Is that
Because we want to watch it twice, right?
Wait, so watch online okay, but download not okay?
correct?
Oh.
So you're not, you can't download it, you can't possess it.
If I share a link with my friend,
That's distribution.
That's distribution.
Yeah.
oh,
You can't even own the link.
You can't own a drive link if it's voyeuristic.
Right. So if the product was produced illegally, then you having access to it incriminates you.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
God
So you don't need to
damn.
physically own the file, but as long as you control access to it.
But how do you know it's like made illegally?
So if someone has like the Mega Drive link,
Those are like themes now, no meh?
themes.
Yeah lah.
like they purposely make that kind
Genres
of
lah.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
gotcha. Yeah. No, but
You
this
don't
is
know your types of
this
videos.
is
lah,
news to me.
lame.
So
No, I'm giving people the perfect answer and excuse when the police come.
So you know how like you try to access Pornhub.com, right, and it says like this site has been banned. It's actually
No, I don't know.
I also don't know.
Yeah.
just now, right? So right, it turns out right that the IMDA banned these porn websites as a symbolic gesture.
Right. Yeah. Because it's so easy to circumvent.
Correct.
He taught me.
It's not illegal. It's not illegal, and so I'm fine with admitting that.
Yeah.
Just look up DNS.
We move on.
No.
We move on. Wow, this is a weird morning conversation.
But anyway, so in summary, right, it is illegal to possess and to distribute obscene films lah.
Yeah.
And so he obviously
I guess on one
possessed and
end,
distributed.
you cannot claim to not know the law of the land, even if you are tourists. Right? It's your responsibility to know the law of the land. And that is the law for a long time already. But what I felt was that OnlyFans has been around for a long time.
For some time.
Yeah, for some time lah. Like before this investigation happened, right? And I feel like there should have been something that come out to say Singaporeans are not allowed to do it.
Yeah.
Then we clamp down, which is what usually happens in Singapore. What I guess is that someone the key difference why he was arrested and other OnlyFans creators were not, namely like the girls, right, for example, was that people reported him, the girls who didn't get reported. So I believe if people reported him and he didn't show defiance by going back to it, it would have been a fine and he can move on.
Yeah.
But I think because of the second charge, right, it becomes a very big
But is
issue
it not weird that Singapore has these kind of laws that it's like, oh, if this doesn't happen, then never mind, or it's just put there. Like similar with 377A also. They say it's not enforced.
Yeah.
Then what is it for?
Yeah, because actually when it came to the article, right, about the laws on porn, right, it's actually quite vague. And there are a lot of like it's so personal. Like there are some things like, for example, if like you want to film yourself having sex or whatever kind of thing, right, then or with your partner or whatever, then there's a possibility that the possession of that can incriminate you.
It can, yeah.
I
Even
thought it's
if it was-
illegal.
It is.
No,
It is. So making obscene films, even knowingly, is illegal. So even if you were to take your phone and film you and your partner having sex, it's
No,
technically
if the person consents to it, then it's okay.
if it's private use,
Based
right?
on what I read.
No?
you can't.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Based on what I read, I think it's okay.
So-
My issue is that, right, the way they write the law, right, is that if the content serves you in a sexual way or whatever kind of thing, then it becomes offensive, right? But what if I'm aroused by shoes?
Well, that was not a twist I was expecting.
Or what if I'm aroused
Where
by
you
kneecaps?
come out with this kind of shit?
No, I'm just questioning like what if I'm turned on by kneecaps? Then I collect a lot of photos and videos of kneecaps. But it's not sexually explicit,
I guess there are pros and cons to every fetish, huh? Some fetish weird people out, but allow you to get away with shit like this.
Loophole. Right. okay, sorry.
Good for you.
So just to clarify, like I don't want to butcher language, right? It is illegal under the Films Act to make or reproduce obscene films, even if it's not for distribution or exhibition to the public. So technically, filming with a phone with a partner would count under this, lah. I would assume. Any lawyers, let us know in the comment section below.
Right.
But I think to answer Denise's question, right, why are laws in place but they're not enforced, right? I think it's once again the slippery slope argument.
Hey, Donovan in the house.
What the So I published a couple books.
You're published poet.
I'm a poet.
Publish as in on Instagram.
Yeah, and Discord and Twitter.
Oh.
Hey, this is a great segue to talk about our newly launched NFT, Enlightened Rats. Please check it out.
This episode was brought to you by Enlightened Rats.
Laws cannot be built to protect certain profession or to push it further. Because Singapore is a nanny state, for example. There was a law in, I think, the 70s or 80s where men are not allowed to have long hair. Right? So I think it came from Lee Kuan Yew himself. And my father had to chop his hair.
Your father
Your father has got long hair.
I can imagine.
Yeah, then yeah, he had to chop his hair for that law. But then in that sense, it helps Singapore integrate into society with the rest of the world because we were on a stage of globalization.
Right.
Back then, because no one took you seriously, ma. If you look like a hobo, lah.
Something.
Yeah, but now it's normalized, right? By Jesus. No, I don't know, lah.
Yeah, what if Jesus had a sick fate? You also don't know.
But there wasn't
right.
Undercut.
he need to do with Caesars.
Yeah, and so I think
Made of stone.
one of the conversations of like let's say 377A, right? Like to promise that it won't be enforced, right? It's in a sense whereby if it was removed, then the goalpost would change. Like we have to agree at some point that we don't want our society, like the young one in our society, to decide at a young age, let's go into porn. Let's join a porn production house. Let's be a porn star.
But that's what's happening now.
Yeah, which we have to acknowledge that it's a moral decay of sorts, especially on a country with a really, really small population. This country in particular, I believe, kind of protects that moral upbringing of ours and how society perceives Singaporeans. Yeah, and so if 377A was removed, right, then the concern here is what if we then lobby for marriage rights and then housing rights and then housing subsidy, which is not wrong. It's just why the laws are there to perhaps slow this down for society to fully accept certain ways of life, I believe.
So I think that in a more general term, right, I think if we look all around the world, there's so many like innovations now, right, where the laws can't catch up like all over the world. So like when it comes to like I don't know, like Bitcoin and like all these other technologies, right? So I think like laws need to be somewhat vague and all encompassing just so that it can be quite timely. So like I'm sure like these laws were put in place at a time when OnlyFans is not available, like people sending like nudes over phones who hadn't come out yet, but it's still relevant today because of the foresight of keeping it vague, lah. And I feel like that's a effective law when it's time.
Can I drop a random fun fact about the homosexuality law in Singapore?
Sure.
But this could just be a rumor, and I might have shared it before. We inherited this law from the British, and it is said that this law was created, right, because there was a local military commander, right, that had a same-sex relationship. And the crown wants him to...
There's a way to get him out, lah.
Yeah, there's a way to get him out, they ban.
But they wanted to get him out because of the same-sex relationships or because of other things, and then
because
they used...
of other things, and then they used that.
But this is unconfirmed.
This is... You cannot... unless the crown confirms that.
I think another issue that people always talk about is like whether your content leaks, right? So that's something that that I would assume creators are also concerned about, lah. Which my question too is why? Because you already put your content online, like why are you afraid of it leaking?
Because you're not getting paid for it.
Oh.
I think it's a searchableness, It's like if let's say you go... Like if I Google you to find out where you work, right, then I don't want to see your nudes.
Okay,
but then don't put your news up, ah.
Yeah, because they're making money from it. That's the difference.
Right.
And I also think that like if say somebody's news got leaked, right, wouldn't that actually gain them more?
Yeah, that's
more
what I was
traffic
thinking also.
More clientele.
Not necessarily.
If the
though.
leak stops eventually. Like.
So in the Titus Low video, right, the one he personally posted, right, he talked about how at an early stage when he realized that his stuff got leaked, right? That he was crumbling. He had anxiety attacks and like depression and all that stuff. He suddenly lost control of his material.
Right.
Yeah, so I guess that, and I think it's beyond reputation lah, because he's already on the news as the guy that sells like dick pics even before that, right? Yeah, so I think it's more than that. The fact that if I Google his name to find out who he is, I see his dick.
Right.
Yeah.
I think another thing that was quite interesting in the Vice article that covered the news, right, was that they started to ask a lot of other OnlyFans creators what they thought about the whole situation. And then there was a girl called Belle Dandy. I think she's a girl. Okay, there was a creator named Belle Dandy, right? And she basically was saying...
Very inclusive show.
It's damn funny every time you do that. She mentioned that she was... I think the biggest fear is that subscribers or followers might turn against her, right? Because she already received blackmail of people threatening to report her to the police if they don't like heed to their request. So like they have special requests, they want her to do certain things, right? And then they'll be like, hey, if you don't do it, I'm going to report you to the police.
Does OnlyFans not have like policies to protect their creators?
According to the article or from like different coverages also, it feels as though Titus was saying also, it's like, how come OnlyFans not giving any support to the creators? Like it feels like there's a lacking of that.
Right.
Especially if they're the 0.1% of creators.
Yeah.
So he went on Just Saying, right? And then he did mention that he kind of feels there's some form of occupational hazard in that. Now every time he feels turned on or what, right, he needs to set up a camera because he wants things to be so-called authentic and not have to like, he purposely need to get into the mood in order to film a video for his subscribers.
Right.
Yeah, so then he did talk about it, which I thought was quite interesting but also a bit sad.
Sounds like a branding thing to me. If you tell, because look, like in porn, right, like the whole idea and the concept of it is that you want to believe the fantasy is real. So why would he say that he's faking it and like just for show?
Right.
So to me that it sounds like a branding thing more than anything.
Like every time he's on camera.
Think through.
Or not that much that.
I think it's the truth and he just didn't think through.
Okay lah, then lucky him.
I don't know. I mean, I know you say it's sad, and I think I can like sympathize with it, but it's also you kind of did this. No, I can't empathize with it, but I can sympathize with it.
Okay.
But it's like you kind of inflicted this on yourself though. Like, and you got the returns from it. What, there was a price to pay for
pros and cons, right?
Wait, but then is that not the same argument as if you are a famous person, right? Is it on you to like entertain every single fan that comes up to you because you put yourself there? What? Then how is this not the same argument?
No. I don't think that's similar. I think it's you did something, you're extremely successful and you gain fame. Yeah. Now you have to deal with the fact that you are famous.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, but it's slightly different because the
you
fame is the
I
subset.
completely agree with her.
No. I
No, it's different.
Help me.
No, I think it's different. It's just that your example was the same.
So if for example you are an actor, but you're doing it for the craft, you love acting, you're actually not doing it for the fame. The fame is a byproduct of you being really good at your job. Whereas when it comes to OnlyFans, the fame is kind of part of the objective. The more famous you are, the more subscriptions you get because it's a direct correlation to your work. So I think the fame is kind of, it's not so much a byproduct, it is the objective.
Right. Okay, that's a much better explanation.
Wait, so how does it connect back to like, now every time I'm turned on, I have to on the camera?
I think because he just associates like sexual
Sex with content.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be sex, it could be nakedness, it could be in privacy. Like we don't know what he mentally links it to. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
I think even if we like kind of like water it down a bit, I think even in our jobs, right, it's like when we get off work, right, we cannot accident.
Okay.
We cannot really switch off because when we are reading news, we are thinking of, okay, can this be turned into content? When we watch TikToks, right, we're like, okay, can we feature this person?
Right.
So in that sense, it's also like every time we see something, right, it's also associated with work.
And it's the price we pay.
Yeah.
Actually, that's way better example. Yeah. Okay, agree.
Yeah. Also, I don't think he's not going out bitching whining about it. I guess someone asked him and then he just replied.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
That's fair enough.
No, but you know what? I think it's a bit odd. Like I cannot imagine if one of my friends, right, suddenly decide to go and open an OnlyFans account. Am I supposed to like, and then they say, for example, shout it out on their Instagram or what? Then should I go and subscribe, right, to like support? Yeah.
Or do you look like a creep?
Yeah. I did that when Farah said she was gonna do her OnlyFans. That's how when I created my account actually. Then I said, hey, because she also did say that she won't do nudes. It's implied. I mean, which means like sexy photos, I guess. Which is like Instagram also have yeah. So I told her like, hey, I'll support like 1 month, 2 months, right? Then Then I realized how weird that was. That must have been for her, and she would not have been able to voice out.
Why?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At first, I thought I was being very bold to say that I will support.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a sense of like, because your friends may not want to say that to you, then maybe make you feel assured. But then you also can feel like, oh, I just want to see you how you look like almost naked.
Yeah, and now you have
Right.
suggestive photos. No, but also as like a boss or a colleague, right? Like if any of us start a side business, like you know, like Matt has like the baking business, right? You want to support every time
Yeah,
you Chinese New Year or what, right? You will definitely buy, and you will say,
I
"Hey,
buy
come,
so many things
you
from
buy."
you.
But if your employee suddenly starts an OnlyFans, right? Like it's so weird to go, hey, I support.
Like no, don't.
There should be like a friends and family option.
Then that's just
it's
your
a
Instagram and
function-
Facebook.
No. It's a function on OnlyFans, so you can pay to support, but you don't
Yeah.
need to see.
It's just a donation.
So Farah also mentioned you can geo-log your content. So
Not by
you don't
geography.
allow Singapore subscribers.
Okay.
So your immediate neighbor won't see lah in that sense.
Right.
Sian, then no point for John already. What?
John. What? John?
VPN. No, but
Talking about?
The same solution come back.
but I agree with JP. I think it's like it can be like Twitch, where it's just a donation and then you just support, but then you don't receive anything.
Yeah, you
Right.
can't really promote their account for them because isn't that redistributing ish, promoting advertising for
No, you don't know they are
explicit
doing
content?
nudes, what?
Oh
Yeah.
You think you'll be okay if your partners went on OnlyFans? Like did OnlyFans?
I push like I would push my partner.
you a pimp?
To, no lah, if it's like free money, you just f***ing post your toes or whatever. Or even if you post like lingerie or whatever, okay right?
Did you sell your underwear to the guy that wanted to buy your underwear or girl?
Okay, I forgot to reply.
It's been months.
Hey.
Huh? Then you are
I
not
never catch
practicing
up
what you
with it. Yeah.
preach. It's free money.
No, I just forgot to reply. I was trying to arrange it.
It's been months.
He was going to, he or she. I should have found out whether it's a guy.
So if more people want to buy, now's your chance. Group order.
Don't please don't buy his underwear. I've seen it. in
Undies
fucking
for
torn and
money.
tattered.
New brand. Yeah.
Do you know that there was this recent news about this creator who was selling fart in jars?
Yeah.
And then she got hospitalized.
Because
she said because of the amount of food that she was eating, right, to try to produce those farts.
Hold up.
Oh, but so authentic though, right?
So now she's selling an NFT of fart in jars.
Wait, but hold up. I don't think that's the crazy part that she cannot hospitalize.
Why?
People are buying. You know how much she made, and the fact that people are buying other people's farts.
But it doesn't matter whether she's hot or not.
Yeah.
Like, what the are you doing buying
the
a fart?
I don't care whether she got hospitalized. Walao fart doesn't even exist. It doesn't. It's
Yeah,
like
that's why I always thought it was just a scam. Like she just like that, then cut, then after
Yeah.
that, let's
when,
send
no.
off.
When the news came out, I go and watch her YouTube channel. Go and see, because she was explaining to people and in a very professional way. She's like, this is legitimate. You know, she's trying to justify it, right?
Yeah.
She says that she actually controls the diet in such a way so that there is a certain smell that will be produced, and that it can. She tried to calculate whether it can last longer, and then if there's a complementary scent that she can add to the jar. This woman.
Imagine trying to justify that though.
Imagine being her partner. Walao, I need to bounce.
Or your mother.
Hey, but you get it for free though.
How to support something so stupid?
Will you rather your partner sell farts or sell nudes though?
Sell farts lah.
Sell farts though.
Nudes! It's something that I can respect.
Hey, but you respect her hustle though. She come out with all this marketing.
Farts
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you watch, remember to drop us a sub, hit that notification button, and like this video. We'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.
Bye.